empower people and try to keep them.
So we'll start here in the front, and then I'll come to the next person in the front, and then I'll go to the back and try to be democratic and inclusive. David.
Thank you so much for your...
Could you stand just so everyone can hear you?
My name is David. I'm a second year grad student at Harvard here. I'm actually taking a class with Dr. Marks now. And we watched your video in one of our classes where you were singing. And my question actually borders on that. And, you know, it sounded very Christian, right? I saw that very Christian, right? Christianity, like you drew so much on Christian imageries, basically. And even right here, you've mentioned things like gospel, servant leadership, and things like that. And so I just wanted you to maybe talk about, is there any influence that Christianity has had on you in this movement so far? Or how are you actually drawing on these influences? Because I know that Christianity is probably 80 to 84% of the population in Uganda. So what does that actually do to your activism? And also, one of the things that we know within activisms like this is that there are a lot of people who often are against religion, who think that religion is part of the reasons why people are actually choosing this dictatorship. Is there anything like this also in this movement where people are against that? Or maybe just the paradox of that religion within your activist movement?
Really interesting question.
Let's take one more from the gentleman in the hat here.
Yes, my name is William Nyende. I hold a master's in health informatics from Northeastern and an IT degree from Northeastern. When I was doing my master's, they taught us how to summarize 600 pages into a picture. Okay? And it has to be one page and it has to be a picture. So now, may I request that you do not interrupt him as I ask him this question, please? So the question I want to ask you is 600 pages that we need to summarize in one page, and that page has to be a picture. And this is what I think the problem in Africa and in Uganda is. Here's a question. How do we use constitutionalism to fight the power in the bearer of the gun? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So we have a question on the role of religion in your movement, and a question on constitutionalism, fighting the barrel of the gun with the military power.
Thank you very much. I like the question. I sound very Christian. Do I? I would not look at myself as very Christian, not even very religious. I respect my religion. I was assigned Catholic at birth, you know. I know many others are assigned Muslim and all that. It was not our choice. But it's not a bad thing though. So, and especially the teachings. For example, you ask if I draw inspiration from Christianity. I think I draw inspiration from Christ and the message of servant leadership, of decency, of truth, of honesty, of respect. Christianity is humanity. And just like Islam is salam, is peace. Just like other religions, I draw so much from religion. Whether I'm very religious, I'm not sure. Whether it is a solution, I'm also not sure. As a matter of fact, I am more unsure about religion right now than it was. We have in Uganda the Inter-Religious Council. This is supposed to be the highest moral body that holds people morally accountable. Unfortunately, and with so much respect to them, I see them in the firm grip of the dictator. These are people that, sworn in Idi Amin. These are the same people that legitimize a dictator that murders people for fun, that mauls people on the street. And you won't hear them calling them out. It became even more unfortunate about 2 days ago when the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda came out under so much social media pressure and said, yo, I'm not here to save you. Actually, I operate otherwise. I don't operate like John the Baptist, because John the Baptist ended up being killed. You understand? I don't have to talk about everything. Some things need silence. Now, this is silence in the face of oppression. It brings back nostalgic memories of religious leaders of yesteryears like Desmond Tutu, who said, if you are neutral in a situation of injustice, you've chosen the side of the oppressor. If an elephant is putting his foot on a tail of a rat and you're neutral, you've chosen the side of the elephant. I mean, back in Uganda, we have a great religious leader. He was the archbishop of the same church during the days of Idi Amin, and he stood boldly and criticized the excesses and extrajudicial killings of Ugandans by Idi Amin. He was killed. Today we have a day in his honor. And this is the morality that we are taught, to speak truth to power and not fear. I mean, we are taught that blessed are those that live for truth, because the kingdom of heaven is theirs. But our religious leaders don't seem in a rush to embrace the kingdom of heaven. You know, it disturbs me. We are told to emulate Christ. Christ spoke truth to power and even proudly took death. That's why we look death in the eyes, and we are ready to face death, because this is what we are taught historically. All great men, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and others, they were killed for the truth. And today they're heroes, and we are told by our moral leaders that that is the way to go. Unfortunately, the same people are telling us that, yo, compromise and don't die. So that has in a great way affected not just mine, but the belief in religion. As I conclude your question, when you are asking, it brought back, I'm sure many of you have read Dr. Martin Luther King's letter from my Birmingham jail.
Yeah.
That noted that the young people then were slowly losing interest in the church, because the church seemed not to be as moral as it had to be. So for now, I'm not shy to say my religion is truth. My religion is love. My religion is uncompromising truth and equal rights for every human being.
Equal rights.
Yes. That also brings me to my brother's question: how can we use constitutionalism to put an end to gun rule? Don't look at constitutionalism alone. We used constitutionalism. I'm in exile right now. We went to the polls, we voted. We won the dictator. And he said, okay, you have won, but screw you. Announce me winner. And it went on like that. So my being here is not just to make a case to foreigners, but to also tap into their abilities, well knowing that it is not only the forces back home, but the forces internationally that are even more effective and more important. I remember when there was a raging fight against the apartheid regime in South Africa,